What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass cylinder breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? This is Friday's episode, so please go back if you're looking for cybersecurity stuff. Monday and Tuesday are topics. On Monday, we discussed stuff. I'm trying to remember what it was. We talked about the cybersecurity labeling for smart devices. Federal initiative, FCC is pushing it. You should start seeing products rolling out next year that will have badges to let you know how secure they are or lack thereof. So definitely tune in for that episode. Then on Tuesday, we discussed how John Hopkins is being sued as part of the MoveIt data breach that took place. So people were suing because they felt like they were not notified quick enough, and that John Hopkins needs to upgrade and better protect their cybersecurity infrastructure. So definitely tune in for that one. Then Wednesday, we did have a discussion where we have good news. So ISC Squared has numbers saying that there's a huge influx of people of color and women into cybersecurity, and growth is looking really well. So definitely tune in for us to hear our discussion. Hopefully I did not browbeat you in the last episode. Like if you're an overemployed person, I'm not coming for you. or your lucrative checks. I'm just saying there's cap space that needs to be made available. So you could be on the chopping block. So definitely tune in for that one. As we decide to grow our community, whatever, but it's not my initiative. I'm not coming for you. don't send me any hate mail, please. And then no Ask Us SP this week. Those have they're still being recorded, but they're being strategically placed for a break that we have on July 30th and one on August 6th. So definitely tune in for those as well. So without further ado, I ask you, Shannon, how was your week?
Man, my week was good, man. So before I get into what I watched and played at work this week, we had a hailstorm that came down where I work, and I missed it. Like, I was fortunate enough to get out of there before it happened. And it's one of those things where people are just like, I know my insurance is gonna go up, like, just because, like, I'm with a company that is heavily used out here because there's a lot of military out here, right? So I already know that come January, my rates are gonna go up, even though I didn't file a hail claim, right? But everybody else has around here. But it was crazy, man. Like, Colorado, like, if you have a ball of ice that comes down, I expect that to happen in the winter, but it's always in the summertime here where we get
That's
hail.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah. But
Is it because of the altitude? Is that what's happening?
I'm not sure. Like, the way it goes with hail is like it's moisture that comes down and goes back up again type thing. Like, it turns into ice. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I've seen it before, and I was just like, I don't care. I just need to avoid it. You know what I mean? But
right.
it was wild. But anyway, on to I missed it. I got out, y'all. Thank you. But
You made it.
I made it, yeah.
Like one of those environmental horror movies where the shards of ice are, it's like raining glass.
Right.
It's like Gears of War, Razor Hill.
But on to what I watched this week. So Secret Invasion. Last episode is this coming week. There's no saving it, I don't think, at this point. Like, and at the end of this last episode, they did something to make, I guess they tried to do it to make you be like, oh, he's back, he's doing this, that, and the third. I wasn't feeling it.
It feels hokey.
Yes.
Like, I don't get it. Like, the budget is so high, but it feels so low. They just doing my boy Nick Fury wrong, right? He deserved an excellent show, and this is just meh.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Like, I am not thrilled with it at all. And like, the next show could just be like action all the way through. Like, as soon as it comes on, bullets flying, like, for a whole 40 minutes, I'd still be like, that didn't make up for the rest of it.
Right. The culmination.
Yeah, it just didn't do it any justice. But I know, like, this is how Marvel does it, right? There's going to be a reveal. Like, the last episode is going to have an in credit scene or mid credit scene, whatever, maybe both. Yeah. And it's going to be something that ties into a movie, right? It'll probably tie into Marvels or something.
But they already showed that, though. So that's what blew me, because usually they don't show the trailers until after the series is over. but they showed it. They showed a new trailer for Marvels uh this week or last week. No, this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like, so is there a secret? Like they've already showed the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know. I
They're just like, man, just get out there.
yeah. I,
People aren't feeling it.
it's got some, it leaves something to be desired. But yeah, I know there are people out there that are liking it though. Like I've got somebody in the office where I work that's like, I'm liking it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it.
I just don't know what's missing, to be honest with you. Like I don't think you could throw more money at it. Like it just doesn't have any gravity. Like there's no weight to it. Like I don't care who's a scroll now. I guess that one. You know what I mean? Like I was looking for something a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But what else did I watch? I watched Strange New Worlds. Um, that's good. I like that one. So again, for people that watch Star Trek stuff, I don't like, they're more than likely onto this. But that was another good episode this week. And I'm noticing they're doing a lot of um the way it seemed like it used to be was it would be like an entire ensemble thing. They get all of the ensemble in on an episode, but now they're just highlighting specific characters now when they go.
Okay.
I'm not mad at, right? Like it'll be, Spock for this episode, then it'll be Captain Pike, right? And then it'll be Uhura, then it'll be number one for this one. Like I'm kind of liking that, right? But that was a good one. What did I do? I finished the Gladiators documentary. It didn't blow me away at the end. It was kind of like one of those things. But I am learning, like I thought I had watched a majority of American Gladiators, right, when I was coming up,
Yeah.
but there's some stuff that I'm like, I didn't even realize that happened, right? Like there was a point where like a lot of the original gladiators were gone from the show, and then they brought them back because ratings started to slide. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't even remember that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't recall that being a thing. And then one of the guys was a host there for one of the seasons. Like one of the guys that started out as one of the original gladiators, he was a host for one of the seasons. And I was like, I never saw that. So maybe I didn't watch it as much as I thought I did. You know?
Right. Or just kids have that weird memory bias. You're like, no, that hadn't happened like that.
Yeah, yeah. Nitro never hosted. He was always a fighter. Yeah,
Right.
but no, it was it was okay. Like it started out better than it ended for me. But what else did I watch? Man, I watched Atomic Blonde, and I was like, I've seen some of these scenes. Like maybe I've seen it before and just didn't watch all of it.
I
But
watched
I,
it on the plane.
yeah,
So that's yeah. So you might have watched it on the plane because I did see it on the plane.
well, I haven't flown recently since that movie was released, though. I haven't flown to be able to watch a movie like that since that was released, right? Like I don't know, like some of the scenes I was like, I feel like I've seen this before.
Right.
Some of it I was like, I totally have not seen this. So it must have just been one of those things where maybe I put it on at some point and then just didn't watch it all the way through or something, or went off and did something and came back.
Yeah.
But it seemed decent. Like, it had some good action in it. I was just like,
Yeah,
ooh,
it actually did. Yeah.
yeah,
I just I need to see it again now on the plane. Like I spoiled a few movies watching on the plane because
yeah.
it's just not the same. I don't,
You think not?
yeah, it's like if a movie is good and I watch it on the plane, I don't think it was as good as if I watched it on TV or seen it in a theater, as opposed to like just something just knocking it out, just like I really don't want to see this in the theater. It's probably not that great. And you watch it on the plane, you're like, nah, it's about what I expected. And it killed 2 hours, right? So it flies 2 hours shorter because of this. So because I watched the first John Wick on the plane. I was like, ah, that's okay. But
Wow.
like
Okay.
then I watched that at home and I was like, oh, this is way better.
Maybe you're onto something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're, I mean, especially with John Wick, like were they editing it on the plane? Like was it less?
No, I don't think so. I think it had everything on the plane because there's some stuff you see on the plane. You'd be like, oh man, I hope nobody's looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, why is this allowed? But there's other stuff like if you like, what was it? Was it the movie Flight? Is that the one with Denzel?
Yeah.
They took out the whole crash scene because you're on a plane, so they don't want to induce panic. So like that scene wasn't even in there. So I was surprised to see it later when I saw the movie. Like again, yeah, I watched it later and I was like, this is way better.
Yeah. At that point, like I wouldn't even have that as one of the options, to be
You would
honest.
think, right? There must be some contractual obligation or something like that. But yeah, they're like, take all that out. The most important part of the movie, take that out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Horizon, man, Forbidden West. Man, that thing got me, man. Like, so whenever I turn it on, like before I even play the game, like it tells you how far along the game you are, how many
Yeah.
hours you've gotten into it and whatnot. And I'm like 134 hours I put into the game. I'm only 54% through the main story.
Wow.
Yeah, like so, like on my way to do a main story mission, like all this stuff, I'm like, ooh, I see a chest there. What's in that chest? Like I could,
Right.
I could trade that for shards. Let me go ahead and get that. Let me go ahead and get, like I will do all the stuff on the side. Getting to that point, and I'm just like, if I'm only 54% done with this, like I'm probably never going to finish this. Like one of my coworkers, I was telling him about it. He was like, are you going to finish this before Spider-Man releases? Because I'm like, yo, when Spider-Man comes out in October,
That's it. Yeah,
that's
you
all
gotta
I'm
drop
for.
everything.
He was
Yep.
like, I'm willing to bet money you will not finish this game before
Yeah.
Spider-Man comes
You
out.
have to not mainline it, but you have to cut out some to come
I,
back to.
but like I don't know why. Like I don't know. I it's just got me. It's got me. Like I'm very inclined to believe they have a lot more in this than they did the first one. Because there's even stuff I'm not doing. Like I won't do the hunting ground stuff. Like I haven't done any of the hunting ground stuff. Like they have this they call it gauntlet runs where like you can ride different machines and do like a race. Like I did the first one and then I was like, that ain't for me. It's like the Gotham, what was it? The last Batman one.
Oh, was it
Night or something like that, or
Dark Knight? No, it wasn't Dark Knight. It
no?
was. I know,
It
or are you talking
uh,
about Gotham Knights? You talking
no,
about
no,
those?
no, no, not
You talking
Gotham.
about like the last Arkham
Batman,
game?
Arkham. Yeah, Arkham. What was the one where you had to fight?
I don't know. It's the one where the Batmobile was the villain.
Yes, yes. So
That's
like
the truest version of that.
I did not like doing the driving stuff. Like doing, I was just like, I could go without it. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just some parts where you had to do it to progress through the game, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. But that's kind of where I'm at with some of those things. But yeah, I'm putting my time in. And the thing is, like throughout the week, I don't get a lot of time playing it. So it's really come like Friday night into Sunday is really when I'm getting the time in, right?
Mhm.
If the wife doesn't call me to go do something, like I'm like, all right, let me see how long I can stay down here and be on these sticks before somebody needs something, you know.
Right, right.
But so all that time is mostly weekend time. But yeah, it's a lot of hours into that. But that's pretty much been my week.
What about Mission Impossible? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it. Okay. I was like, oh, he probably saw that joint.
No. So the wife wants to the wife wants to see it with me because I don't know if I put this on the podcast or not, or if we shared this offline, but she hit me up about it and was like, hey, like I want to see the new Mission Impossible. And I was like, I didn't think you were that big a fan like that. And she hit me back. She hit me back with a response that just made me laugh. So I love my wife. I'm very much in love with my wife, but she's not very funny. But so so she hit me back. And so I was like, hey, I knew it was coming out, but I didn't think you were that big a fan. She hit me back and she put, bro, dot, 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 bro, dot, dot, dot. Come on, bro. And so because you know her, like, you know, that's not how she is.
Right, right. That's
It's like,
hilarious.
yeah.
She's like, I want to see Tom Cruise almost kill himself for the entire movie
Yeah. So like
in real life.
it made me laugh. So we just have to find the time to see it together, right? Like just the two of us, because that's not something for the younger children, or
Right.
you know what I mean, to see. Like, so it would be just us time, do like a date night or something like that, where hopefully my son isn't working or something along those lines, and maybe he could watch the younger two. My older son can watch the younger two. But yeah, it was, I haven't seen it yet, man, but I want to. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to see it. Like, it is going to happen, you know what I mean. And I noticed when I go on I think it's Prime or Paramount Plus, like all
Yeah,
of
they're all on there.
the
That's my plan, is to marathon them, because I have to make a confession.
uh-oh.
I have not watched any of them to completion. Not one.
How do I get off of this thing?
I think where's the end, but
It was
I think the one I saw the most of was the first one. And it's not that they're bad. I just never had to. I don't know. I just never made the time to watch them.
Does the spy genre not really do it for you?
No, it's not. It's not a problem. I don't have any grievances with the series. Nothing is stopping me from watching it. I just have not made the time to do so.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy, right?
It is. It is. I will warn you, and you may feel differently than I do, but the second one is not that great. Like
Yeah,
if
you
it's,
said that. You said that's the only one where you're just like, man.
yeah, like I probably will never watch it again. I say that, but then I
Gotcha.
probably will, right. But like it it's it's the one outlier that you're like, I could go without that.
Yeah, because it has everything I want. It has the action, the espionage. It has the stunts. I just haven't got to them yet. But now they're all on Paramount. Like Paramount just puts everything out there. Like they don't like usually when a movie comes out, like services start to hide the previous stuff behind a pay gate.
Mhm.
Paramount's just like, yeah, just go ahead and get it.
Yeah. Well, that's how you get your viewership up, or
Yeah,
your what do you call it? I don't want to say sponsorship,
subscribers.
subscribers. Yeah, ship.
Yeah.
I
Speaking of subscribers, no,
don't know.
but no, so yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it yet. But yeah, I definitely want to get your take on it, and I'm going to try to catch up. I don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater. See again, look, I'm not making time for it. Just like, nah, you know what? I might wait for this one to come home too, and then just never see it because movies are expensive. All right, Shannon,
Yeah, they are. They are.
it's $100 night if you take your family.
I get you, man. But like, so go into that. Let's go to you, man. What'd you do this week?
Oh,
It's gonna come up.
okay. So this past Monday was Junior's birthday. So he turned 15. So that was a fun time. Not fun in buying him toys because he's too old for that now. So this dude got a weight bench, a TV, and cash. The most boring stuff ever. I feel like I'm buying presents for a grown ass or whoops for a grown man. I think it's the first time I ever cuss on the podcast. I'm not gonna edit it out. It's not as fun as buying him like a bunch of games or stuff like that. Like he just wants like money and clothes. Well, not even clothes because he's not in that phase yet. But just like what, it'd be nice to have a TV, a TV, a functioning TV in his room, right? Like he has a TV, but it's a dumb TV at that point. So we got him a decent size, like a 43-inch, right? Because his room's not that big. And that was it. He was just like, I want that. So then we surprised him with the weight bench because he'd been saying, because we have like a squat rack and the Pelotons in the garage. He'd been saying like, you know what, we should probably get a bench so I can start, because he lifts in school as it's like it's a class in sports medicine or whatever. So he wants to do it at home. So okay, cool. So we bought him that and then some cash, and he was satisfied. It's like cool. I was like, man, that's boring.
You know what? Like you talk about him not wanting to close. Just give him yours. Like when you sent me the picture of him and your daughter, I was like, who is this grown man? Like
Yeah,
I gave the Reggie reference from Bad Boy.
yeah, I saw that.
I was like, he at least 30. like I was just like,
He's looking me in the eyes now.
I
So he's
remember him when he was
yeah.
little. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's like 5'11" or 6 feet, one of the two. But like he makes eye contact with me now. But he's still really thin and sinewy, right? Like that was me, like all arms and legs.
Look, I told you when you told me what you was gonna get him. I was like, what? Be careful, man. You gonna put the weights up?
Right, right. He got
Challenge.
natural abs
You
because he
know what
doesn't
I
have
mean?
any fat.
So he gonna start challenging you. He gonna be like, I think I run the house now. Like, oh, is this what we
Yeah,
doing?
speaking of which, I saw Creed 3 this weekend too. So
Yeah.
I got something for him. No, I was playing. I don't, I don't advocate violence. But every now and then he does try to wrestle me, and I take him out. And I take him down.
Good for now. Good.
Well, so the thing is, what I learned is old man strength is nothing but uh, experience and stubbornness. So like when we arm wrestle stuff like that, it's not because I'm stronger than him, like I am right now, but I can feel it coming. It's because he doesn't know technique. It's not your bicep, it's your wrist. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know that yet. It's gonna be years before he figures that out. When it comes to the wrestling, he ain't got no leg strength. He don't know that. So as soon as he come for me, I'm taking them legs out. I won. I got a few more years before he thinks about it. It's like, how is he getting me still?
So Ryan, you say it could be years. It might be this Friday. Like when he sees this, he's gonna be like, "That's what I need to do. More
right,
more squats and more wrist flexion."
So he has the things. He got the grips. Like so, he might be figuring it out. He got the grippy grips. He might be figuring me out. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But it's still a fun time. I still got him for another 3 years. Well, I say that, and then he wants to start hanging out with friends and going out, right? He'll get his permit this year, so we'll see what that all entails. But I'm trying to keep him in the house as long as possible. I'm like, yeah, go to school, stay here. Room and board costs the same as tuition, so you double dipping. Like you think, oh, school's not that expensive, but yeah, school plus eating and living it's twice the price of tuition. So, like, you want $100,000 in debt, or you just want to stay here and be quiet. Just go to your room, free room board. You got lights, you got food. Let's go up there, and then every now and then check on me. That's all I require. That's all I require. But yeah, so he had his birthday, and then this upcoming weekend is the Mrs. birthday, so that'd be fun. So my wife's having a birthday. So and then this past weekend, so I saw Barbie. So my oldest, my 17-year-old, I made a joke on LinkedIn. I was like, I literally used to load up the Barbie cruiser with her Barbies and then run over Ken. That was, and it used to make her giggle every time. It was zombie Ken had to be taken out. And that we went from that to go and see the Barbie movie. So it's full circle, right? So I was like, this is gonna be awesome. So we went to see that. We drug Junior with us, and for the most part, I thought it was a really good movie. Because it's better than expected, right? Like it does have a storyline. It has some really funny comedic moments, right? Because it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's like we know what we are. It makes fun of Mattel, like hardcore. Uh, Will Ferrell's in it, so that's funny. Like he's a nutcase. Um, but obviously the star of it is Margaret Robbie. She does a really good job. Like every role she plays, she does a really good job. Like she's a really good actor. And then Ryan Gosling and what's my man's name from Shang-Chi? What is his name?
Simu
Yeah,
Lu.
I'm going to butcher his name, but yeah. So he plays a Ken. Ryan Gosling obviously plays a Ken, and then Gravik is in it. I didn't know. I kept seeing the dude, and I was like, I know this dude from somewhere. He's a phenomenal actor, by the way. Like he's in so many movies. I don't know it's him because he plays the character so well. Um, but I'm like, I keep looking at him. I'm like, I know this dude from somewhere, right? He plays a Ken as well. Um, and then finally at the end, he said something like he said more than a few words, and he sounded just like Gravik. I was like, there it is. That's where I know you from. So his career is blowing up also because like he's in everything. Like he was in I didn't see it yet, but it's the one where it is Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and MLK in the movie.
Uh, Night in Miami or something
Something
like
like that. Yeah, yeah. So he plays Malcolm X.
yeah.
And then he's playing Bob Marley in a movie, and then he's in another movie. I can't remember the title of the movie, but like he has a very big range. But in this, he very minimum, but still funny. Like the whole movie is meant to not be taken seriously. It's just funny, and it plays on the idea of Barbie, like her purpose, and how the world just sucks, right? But it's funny. Like they keep it very light, and then it has like the only part that Junior found to not uh to not be the best. He actually fell asleep at the very end of the movie. Like he was good. I could hear him chuckling and all that stuff. And at the very end of the movie, I could look at him. He's super still because he fell asleep. Is the when they get to the real big empowerment, it was like it's not for us. But that's good. That's fine. That's the movie. It was meant for the little girls who play with Barbies growing up. So like I enjoyed it, but I'm an adult, right? Like he's 15. He just tuned out and he's like he's asleep. But it ran the full gamut. So I would not push anybody to see it if they didn't already want to go see it. But if you have an inkling to want to go see it, it's actually a pretty fun film. I would give it like I'll get a B. Right? It's not groundbreaking. It's not there uh, to necessarily impart a message. And if you're not trying to hear it, but it's not like there's a whole other side of Twitter which is like this is anti-man and this is super woke. It really wasn't, to be honest with you. It didn't say anything that wasn't already in your mind when you think of Barbie, right? Like unless you're somehow you time travel from the 1950s. If that's you, first off, like go back. But secondly, why are you here? Like if you romanticize about that time period, then you should stay there. Like, why'd you go see this movie? So, and then last night I watched Creed 3 with the missus. So she watched 1 and 2 again to refresh her memory, and then we watched 3. And I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I
It's
have,
actually
yep,
really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, I didn't realize Rocky wasn't in it until the end. I was like, where the hell's Rocky at? And I remembered he had issues with the script and whatnot.
Right. I
So
I was not as big a fan of it as most people were. Like,
there's some leaps in it. I give you that. Like, even Shamir was like, that's hard to believe.
but I can suspend disbelief, right? Like, so like having a match going against the champ, like yeah.
Yeah, that was where they jumped the shark.
Well, not even that. So like, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, it's been over a year now, so maybe I can give it away. But the part where they're boxing and then like nobody else is in the arena, so it's kind of like the
Oh yeah, where they're just in
match
their own
movie.
space.
I'm like, well, what is this about? You know
Well,
what I mean?
so that's anime inspired. Both of them are anime fans, and that's where they got it from. So that's like he literally said my inspiration for the fights came from One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto. So like if
Yeah,
you see the fight choreography, he made it, he like basically made a live action anime. So like when they punch each other, that's directly from a panel of an anime. I remember specifically growing up. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a boxing manga that they turn into anime. And then the one where he punched them and then you can see the punch through his back, that's Dragon Ball Z.
yeah.
They used to punch holes in Yamcha all the time.
That I didn't have a problem with though. But like, I didn't have a problem with that type of
But
stuff. Like,
it was just them being in their own
it
space
was
and
just
just
them
like,
being in their own
what is this
space, and then
for?
the arena is empty, and then it was like kind of cloudy, like blurry.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "There's
That's
no
that's
reason."
anime. That's
Uh,
how they these big battles always turn into that.
maybe that's it. And then some of the other story stuff, like this, like I can suspend disbelief, but it's just like, come on, man, like
Yeah,
nah.
and like him getting a chance at the champ. And so quick. Everything was just so fast right there. Like that part was the only part where I was just like everybody else, like Tessa Thompson, obviously she acts amazing. Michael B. Jordan and oh man, Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan,
I
yeah,
always forget people's real names. Like I think he did a good job. It was just how rapidly they accelerated the his plot. You know what I mean? It was just like it just moved kind of quick for me. Like when old boy getting his hand hit, I was like, like you've been devising this for 18 years. Like you've been this is like for you to be able to figure this out and then be able to actually make it happen. Like that was just a bit much, but it was to service the fight. So I'm okay with that. Um, but for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I would give it a B as well. Like it wasn't groundbreaking, but I think it progressed him to getting a fourth movie out of it, right? There'll be a Creed 4, maybe with Stallone this time.
yeah. Stallone said he wouldn't work with some type of one of the producers or something like that. There was somebody he was like, I will not work with
But
them.
his name's on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously because it stems from him, but it says that he was a producer on the film.
Right, but he doesn't own any of the property. That's the thing, right? So like that's his thing,
Mm,
is he wanted to come back to the table because when he did the first Rocky film in 70, whenever it was, 7 or what,
yeah.
6, whatever, he doesn't own any piece of that, right? Like it's not Warner Brothers. Lion, not
Those
Lion,
deals back in the day were crazy. Like
but
I'm
yeah,
glad to see artists actually getting pieces of their stuff because they used to get nothing. They'd be like,
yeah.
here's a Happy Meal. Thank you. We
But
have this for perpetuity.
that's the thing though. It's like he just wanted to go back, and I don't even think he was looking for a large share. He was like, just let me get a little bit of it, right? Like I've been producing. Did he direct one of them too? He directed the one where he came back after all those years.
Yeah, yep, that was him. Mhm.
Balboa, I think it was called
Yeah,
Balboa.
Balboa was directed by him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like he's like, let me just get a little piece of this, and they were like, no, no, not at all.
I don't even remember seeing an image in this movie of him. Like because
They referenced him one time.
yeah,
That
yeah,
I
that was
think that
it.
was it.
That was
Yeah.
it. That's why I was just like, he's not in this movie. And then I remember, yeah, there was some issues behind it. So maybe like he said he wanted to be in the next one.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I like now that I think about it, like it would have been nice to at least be in a montage, right? When he was doing the training montage, which had some excellent soundtrack, by the way. Like I was just like, I was like, who is this on track? I was like, oh yeah. And the fight, like that's always my favorite part of Rocky movies is the montage. Like, how's he gonna get in shape? Like, and he's out here pulling jets. And then another funny scene was with Stephen A. That was funny because that was like he can act as himself very well.
Well, it's because he's always in act. Like when he's on the like no, not like I don't say that to be derogatory towards
Right,
him.
right. He's a
Yeah.
character is his persona. Yeah.
If you ever see him do his podcast, or if you ever see him in interviews where he's on someone else's show, he is not that guy, right?
So I
Like
did see him. Like I don't know if you've seen Cameron and Mace have a podcast.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched.
It's rather funny. Like because Cameron is like Cameron wants to be a host or a journalist of some sort. You can tell he does a really good job. He's very professional, whatever. Mace is just like, I'm Mace.
It's called It Is What It Is or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine put me onto it. I watched 2 episodes. I watched the very first one. I was just like, okay, this is okay. It's good to see them because I mean, I've been seeing these people since my childhood, right? Like they petered out in the early 2000s. Um, and then the Stephen A one, I was like, oh, he's talking facts. Like he literally said some stuff. I was just like, wow, okay. Like you're very secure in your job.
But again, he didn't do all that loud stuff and do all
Right.
that, right? Like he was very down to earth. I'm like, dang, but that doesn't sell. Like if he was to do that on First Take or whatever,
Right. He has to be boombastic, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
which is kind of sad, but at the same time, if that's what made you and makes you money,
He's making money. I'm not mad at it. Like do what you do. You know what I mean?
yeah. But how did we get here? Oh yeah, I was talking about good acting, like, and then
Yeah.
Felicia
Oh,
Rashad, right? Like, absolutely, like she does a good job in everything she does. Um, and then the interaction between him and his daughter, I thought that was really cool. Like, you're starting to see a lot more uh, 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 actors who I guess the proper term is still deaf, right? Like, so deaf actors in roles, and they're doing a really good job with just that exposure because you saw that in A Quiet Place, you saw that in
so is that little girl
Echo.
really deaf? Is that
Yeah,
little
in
girl?
real life. Yep.
Oh, okay, got you.
Hmm.
Okay, I knew the one from the last one I saw was the one from Godzilla,
Yep.
or Godzilla
Yeah, the
versus
little girl
Kong.
from
Like
Godzilla.
she
Yep.
was,
And
yeah,
then you didn't watch The Last of Us, groundbreaking TV series up for like 20,000 Emmys, but it's okay. But there's an actor in there as well, a young boy who's up for a bunch of different awards as well, and he's deaf in real life. And it's just good to see them play these non-stereotypical characters and show off ASL as well. So there's a lot of that in the movie. I'm just like, that's really cool. Like, because you typically don't see that, or you see somebody who's playing the character who isn't actually, have whatever that is that's being portrayed. And they're starting to get away from that in Hollywood. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. What else? Oh, so they finally announced Invincible will be back in November. So it's like November 3rd. But
I
with
thought
that,
I
they
thought
dropped
this
the
would be this
episode.
summer.
Yeah, so that's like November 3rd. They're back, and he said that Robert Kirkman said the gap between series will be shorter and shorter because they finally built the pipeline. So he said that, and which is true. I never noticed that when anything new animated comes out, it takes forever to get the next episode or the next season. He said that the way that they do it is that the first one is them building the pipeline, and then it gets more efficient and mature as they go along. So the gaps get shorter. So he said COVID messed a lot of that up, but now they're on pace to be able to churn them out faster without losing quality. So because the same thing happened with Rick and Morty, but now that's a whole debacle as well. Like with
For a
the
different
voice of
reason.
all the characters,
Yeah, for a different reason.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but with that being said, November 3rd it comes back, and they dropped an episode of uh Adam Eve. It's Atom Eve, right? Yeah, that's her name. They dropped her origin story as an episode the same day they announced the date, and so it's out there now on Prime. I started watching that I started way too late, so I cut it on, and I watched like maybe I literally fell asleep as soon as I cut it on, and I woke up, and everybody was bloody, and I was like, oh, gotta cut this off. I gotta see how this happened. I was like, it got violent fast, or I was just asleep for so long. But it got like you see her growing up. You see remember her and the dad had issues. So you see the mom and the dad. And then like literally my eyes opened back up after a real long blink, and like everything was bloody. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be real good. Let me cut this off real fast. So I think it's a 30-minute episode, but it's on Prime now. So at least they give you a little taste of something and while you wait.
I gotta check that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I saw before that it was supposed to release in the summer, and I was looking for it like 2 days ago. I was like, when is Invincible coming back?
Nah,
It's
like
still in my list.
yeah, they say they keep having to push it back, but they just said like it's actually gonna come out November 3rd. And then if you watch the trailer, because so they released the trailer, so the trailer is pretty short, but then it cuts to black and it starts to show the names of all the guest appearances, and they have like little voiceovers. It sounds epic. Like, I don't know.
Is that the trailer where they're in the diner eating?
No, it's another one. Like, it actually
Okay,
shows a little
okay.
bit. Like oh man, I can't remember how it starts off, but I thought it was the same trailer. And then it goes on a little bit longer. It's like a minute and a half. But then it cuts to black, and then it shows it has starts like it showed like the comedian Farrow, what's his name? Is
Will
it
Ferrell?
Tyler Farrow or something like that? No, black comedian. He does a bunch of famous voices. He does like Obama, LL Cool J, DMX. He does impressions.
Jay Farrell.
Yeah, Jay Farrell. So it
Jay
showed
Farrell.
like his name will pop up. Like they showed a bunch of different celebrities. Like the screen kept filling up, and then they had voiceovers of scenes that they're in. It sounds like it's gonna be epic season. So I would say check it out.
Seth Rogen got some pull, huh? Because he's the one that's
Right. He's
pushing
like,
for
I
this
need
stuff.
everybody to show up.
Yeah,
I mean, they had a long enough time.
that's true too. Yeah.
All these people on here, but I didn't see all the names. Like the only one that popped up that I saw immediately, and they started. You could hear his voice was Jay Farrell, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like it's like a billion names. So at some point, I'm gonna watch the Easter egg breakdown, and somebody who has the time will tell me about who all will be on the show, without spoiling too much. But yeah, and then I watched Secret Invasion. Not amped for the conclusion. At best, I say that they give us an end credit scene that leads into Ironheart. That at best, because they've already spoiled Marvel's thing. We already know what's going to be. We already know kind of what that movie's going to be about. We know that
It could be the Thunderbolts.
could be the Thunderbolts. Like, yeah. So there's some implications there, right? Because of the president being hurt and all that stuff. Like they could slide them in there. Um, I think what's the one that was called Iron Wars? Is that the one where they're gonna have um Rhodey and all them battling out? It went from TV show to a movie now. Like
Oh,
maybe,
I'm not tracking it. Went to a
yeah.
movie
So it's not a show anymore.
show.
Like
Okay.
because the whole was it Bob Iger was the former president, now new president or
Yeah.
returning president.
Yeah.
He came back, he changed the whole slate. So like things got pushed, things got delayed. And Secret Invasion actually has reshoots. So that's why I think it's a little bit more jarring than it should have been. But at the same time, like how bad was it before they reshot stuff? Because it's not great right now. But he came in and he changed a lot of the slate and timing and pushed things around. So that TV show became a movie now. So who knows when it's going to be released? Like 2025, 2026? I don't know. So I don't know, man. Like I again, like we had this conversation offline. I think we were spoiled by the MCU, how great it was. It came out the gate just for the game. I'd say it came out the gate for the decade. It was the best in cinema when it came to action. Uh, but after the snap, has just hasn't been the same. I don't know. Like I'm starting to like maybe Thanos was right.
I told you I call him the hero of the Avengers, man. Like
Yeah,
his
maybe he was
logic
right.
is sound. Like if the resources are finite, like we are just consuming them too fast. Like get rid of half of us.
Yeah, because it just has never been as great. They've had some really good ones, right? But I don't think anything has topped uh uh it wasn't Infinity War. What was the last one?
Endgame.
Endgame. I don't think anything's topped Endgame. I just don't.
I think Infinity Wars is better than Endgame, to be honest with you, if I'm being
You think
honest.
so?
I think Infinity Wars was better than Endgame. Him going to get the stones,
Yeah,
I think was a better journey than Endgame and them trying to get.
right. And them traveling through time and all stuff. You might be right. Like Infinity War may have been the apex because and I give you like I really enjoyed um uh the oh man Multiverse of Madness. I really enjoyed it only because no, was it which one was the one with all the Spider-Mans? It's Multiverse of Madness, right?
No, you're talking about Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Far
Oh
was
yeah,
the
you're right. That was a Spider-Man movie to itself.
yeah.
So it was No Way Home.
No Way
I
Home.
really enjoyed No Way Home. That's because of all the nostalgia, right? Like that really did it for me. That's the last one where I was just like, this is an A plus. All the rest have been B's after that.
I think you're being generous with the B when it comes to Multiverse of Madness. Like that last Doctor Strange, I was not
Just
feeling.
we weren't feeling it. Like it wasn't bad. I mean, it was better than the first one, obviously, because it was no longer origin story.
You think it was
But
better than the first Doctor Strange? I disagree there.
you do?
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't. I wasn't really feeling the first Doctor Strange
I don't think it's one of the better Marvel works, but I don't think the second one was as good as that.
as
Like,
the first one.
and again, like maybe it's the Sam Raimi connection, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it could be
I
that.
don't,
Like
I
you're
don't,
not. I don't think you would like any of the Evil Dead stuff either. Like,
I
he's not. He's not for you.
never seen him. And like even when it comes to the first, like when he was doing the Spider-Man movies, like
Yeah, the
the
Tobey
first
Maguire ones.
one and a half, yeah, the Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah.
Um, the first one and a half were good. You know,
You only get a second one and a half.
I'll say the first. I'll say the first two. I'll say the first two, but then it was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. Not for me.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like again, we could just be being spoiled, but like the Eternals wasn't doing it for me. The Black Widow, I don't think that was a good end for her. It was okay. As you can see, there's still cameos. It still has ramifications. So like everything is solid because everything still builds into the universe. They still have that hands down on any other franchise ever in existence. But I just don't, you can't top those movies. Like that first decade, that first slate, still the most epic. I don't know if they'll ever beat it,
Even Thor: Dark World.
except for that one. That's the only bad one. Like the first Captain America was meh. I put it out there. Like a lot of people fight me on it. Like all the other ones, all the Captain America 2 and 3, amazing. The first one, it was just okay.
I think it got better the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was not feeling it, but the
Yeah, it
second
was
time
like
it
man.
was better than I thought it was.
Yeah,
But yes, it is not. It is probably the worst of the three because you got Civil War and Winter Soldier as well, right?
yeah, those two are great,
Yeah,
great movies.
yeah.
But yeah, everything after has just not been as good. It's just I don't know. Like even Wakanda Forever, like that's not their fault. Like they have everything you need except for uh, Chadwick. If he was still around, that movie would have been A plus, top tier. But unfortunately, it just they had to build something without him in it, right? So it's lesser because it's missing him. But everything else is just not it's not A plus. I don't know. I don't know how they fix it. Like maybe when they integrate the X-Men, when the X-Men start popping in, maybe that'll be their resurgence. That's because that's what everybody wants to see now anyway. They want to see like when are we going to get mutants? When are we going to get mutants? What's going to happen?
I don't know why that would make me think it would get better. Like if you can't deal with it right now without having them in there, what are you going to do to integrate them to where I think it should be better? Like my own personal feeling.
Right, right.
Like
Well, I
you're
guess
not
you won't be
handling
as
this.
reliant on B tier characters, right? Like a lot of Marvel was based upon them not being able to capture the mutants because it was owned by other people. So you had to bring in Iron Man, which was the best decision they ever made. That was the first decade. They did an excellent job. But Iron Man, like I knew who Iron Man was, but a lot of people didn't know. Like he was B tier, right? Nobody knew who Tony Stark was. Tony Stark is the reason that we have the MCU now because that's how good Robert Downey Jr. was that character. And then on top of it, you had nobody really knew Ant-Man. Nobody really knew uh, Wanda and them because of they weren't necessarily the highest ranking in the X-Men as we knew them, right? Like in the comic books, yes, like everybody knows Wanda Maximoff. She is like what are they called when they're omnipresent being? I forget what they're called, but like she is a very important character, like the House of M and all that stuff. Like Like she's top tier in the comics, but not when it came to the movies. Like they didn't even call her couldn't even call her mutant in the movie because of the whole situation with Fox, and then they had to wind up acquiring them anyway. Who else? Like Black Panther probably wouldn't have like if the mutants were available, Black Panther may not have debuted. To be honest with you, like they had to reach into their bag to find characters where they knew people. Like this is not what people necessarily think about when they think about Marvel, but this is going to be our. We're going to take these characters that are lesser known and make them top tier. Like I knew who Black Panther was, but majority MCU people they didn't know. They didn't know they're getting.
Yeah, you might be on to something right there.
So I think not having the X-Men made the first decade of the MCU what it is great. But then after that, it was just too big. Like how do you top that? I don't know. I just don't get it because they're like now we go into space, but you can see like Phase 4 was just nonsense. Phase 4 did not do it for me. It was all over the place. Like they made you aware of the multiverse, but then they didn't really seal the deal.
I still haven't seen Quantumania. Like it's been
It's just meh. Like, and that's what kills me. Like, it's a beautiful movie. Like the CGI budget must have been ridiculous, and then they had all the characters, but and they made a heist movie because that's what the first Ant-Man was, right? That's what made it so good. Was it was different. Um, it was just lacking something, and Jonathan Majors did his best, but it just was not. I just don't think it was a good movie. C plus.
Ooh.
That's because of the visuals.
Ooh.
I give it a C plus.
Ooh.
I said it. Because
Mm.
Paul Rudd is hilarious, and it just wasn't a funny movie. Like it was like it wanted to be funny, like very occasionally, and it wanted to be super serious, but we don't want to show you the big bad until the very end. Like the pacing was just not great. And then you finally get the big bad, and then it's over. Boom. We're done here. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. Like at some point you have to watch it, I guess, because it'll make Loki season 2 make sense.
Yeah.
But I won't go out your way the speed to it.
I'll eventually get to it, but like I pass it constantly. Like I will go on Disney Plus, be like, okay, what's on here now, or something I may want to see that I saw already, and I see it on there, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
nah. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just don't know. But I mean, it has the trappings to be something great, but like this TV show is not showing me as its greatness around the corner. Like Secret Invasion is just meh, and like it should be great. It's got Don Cheadle, it's got Samuel Jackson, and then everybody else.
You know who I really like? You know who I really like in that series that I was having this conversation at work. So the SIS lady, Sonya,
Yes,
is that her name? Like I'm
yeah,
loving her. Like she's making me laugh every time. Like
right.
like
And she had
in the
that
last
quip,
one, yeah, yeah,
yeah, quip British humor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like I'm just like, what? Yeah. Like when she called the dude the wrong name. She's like, no, I'm talking about the guy that has the silencer at the base of your skull. And
right.
the guy jumps. She's like, oh, there he is. Like it made me laugh. But yeah, so she's kind of making the show for me, man.
Yeah.
Like
Was she in anything else before this?
I don't think
MCU wise?
I don't think she was a person they had in there, and I'm hoping they don't kill her off.
Right.
I am hoping they don't
Like that should be a character they bring into the movies or
exactly.
other shows. I don't like just keep her around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think they'll also bring in oh man, I don't know her real life name, but Game of Thrones.
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, Amelia Clark. I hope they keep her and then bring her into the movies. Um Only because she's a good actress, and I don't think this movie she can't do anything, or this TV show she can't do anything with it. She can't make this better. If Samuel Jackson can't make this better, she can't make this better either. Like if because he's the crux of the TV show, and he's trying his hardest, but it ain't like I would say that they have two really good conversations between him and Rhodey, and then him and Patricia, and then that's it, and that's not enough. So I don't know where they go from here. I just don't think this is giving me good vibes for Phase 5. Because I assume that's phase 5 is next, right? Like phase 4 is pretty short. So phase 5 is,
Didn't Ant-Man end phase 4?
yeah, I think you're right. I think Ant-Man. So this is the beginning of phase 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to phase 6. Let's move on. But we'll see. But yeah, I didn't play any games this week. I was too wrapped up in work. So I hope to get back to Zelda, and then Junior now has 9.5 days into Diablo. He's on season 1 of the DLC. He's mad like the rest of the world. I guess the recent patch that came out made all the characters suck. So now they're scrambling to push another patch because everyone universally does not like what they pushed out. Because they do what's called nerfing, where they characters are performing too well, people are leveling up too fast, or they're people have found ways to cheat the system and gain ranks really fast. So they dropped a patch that pretty much nerfed everybody. So he's just like, this is not fun. So hopefully they do their thing and they do some better balancing to bring those characters back up to what people find to be fun. Because he's not the type of person, he doesn't even have a level 100 yet, right? So they target the people who are at level 100. That's not the majority of people. So do better.
Like nerf them when they get to level 90 or something. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or just like bounce it better, or just don't care about bouncing it, right? Like, but I guess it affects the economy, which affects the bottom line. So if they're able to perform too well and not need your resources or need you to put in money or whatever, then that causes issues. But I don't think there's a lot of pay stuff in here. I don't know. I've never seen them buy anything. So I don't know if you have to. Like he bought the deluxe edition, so he got season 1 for free. It was included. So he kind of paid for it up front. But even then, the season 1 character, you can't bring your character into season 1. You got to start over. That's a new character in season 1. Yeah, which people didn't like that to begin with either. But I guess that would have broke it, right? If you're already level 100 and then season 1 comes out, then what do you have to strive for? So that's why they take away character powers. And like if you play like a Metroid, like inevitably something will happen to Samus where she loses her powers in the next one, right? Or like God of War or something like that. Like you can't be already max level when they come into the new game because then you just whoop everybody's butt. So I get that, but at the same time, uh, I don't know if he would. I don't know if he's going to pay for a season 2, right? Unless they fix what they've done to the game. So, but yeah, it pretty much wraps up my week. So this week, catching up on work, and then celebrating the birthday with my wife, and then we'll try to squeeze some Zelda in there at some point. So
So you can side mission like I do.
right. So we'll see how that goes. But so I'm still enjoying it. I couldn't get back to it. I just didn't have the time. So it's just work and sleep. So but definitely continue to tune in, as I've alluded to in the other shows, or not even alluded to, overtly asked for you to share, like, subscribe with your friends. We want to hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, so we're at like 210. I want to get up to 500 by the year's end, and then the audio side of the house is doing really well. We have just shy of 300 subscribers, and we have about 500 to 600 downloads per month. So that's not bad. That's actually really good for a podcast. So just keep that up. If not, add a few people. Share us with some other people. Add some more people to the flock. All right. But with that being said, please continue to tune in. Hit us up by social medias that go by our name. You give me a person. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.